what role does religion play in addressing and mental illness and coping with it?
In the black community, religion plays the uppermost role, because in the black community, the only entity that has any ongoing power, even though that's been lessened greatly, to bring effect into people's lives is the church. I just got through doing a series for Black History Month and for Dr. Martin Luther King birthday, dealing with the fact that it is slave religion that contributed to the black church, which contributed to the African American community. There is a sequence of development there which we just want to ignore today. We just want to say, like, the black community is here, we're not sure how we got here. No, it was slave religion. Then there was the black church, and out of the black church grew a personhood, a community, a sense of being that came out into the black community. And so therefore, the black church still, in many people's lives, holds a place of importance, of significance, to help people to be able to move. Now, we also have an emerging trend. 22% of people in America are now unaffiliated with any church whatsoever. So that impacts African American people. I'm watching TV, and I'm watching African Americans come on TV and talk as if there is no God. And I'm saying, what? I mean, what? You belong to anybody's church? No. Well, you can go back 50 years, even 25 years. That would be impossible.
Right.
So
crazy.
You wouldn't even think about it. But now that's where we're headed. But the church still has inroads into people's lives. Is the institution where we can come together and do some things. Is an institution where we come to find ourselves, where we find respite from the world no matter what's going on during the week. So I think the church is still the place, even though it's losing a lot of its impetus, but I think some of that the church is contributing to by not being what God has called it to be. And that is, if we're the church in African American community, we're not simply a religious resource. We are a life resource. Yeah. So all of it comes together. Now, when I was studying and had Moody Pastor of the Year and all that wonderful stuff, and I really appreciate it, I was operating more from a white perspective, and that perspective was religion and politics don't go together.
Yes.
In the African American church, they're never separate.
They're never separate.
They're always together.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's my understanding that the black church years and years ago used to be a community center where you can come and you can get things done.
Right.
Do you think that, you mentioned seems to be a detachment from the church. You see everybody's talking about the universe and all this. Do you think that that detachment from the church has kind of hurt us and is maybe kind of feeding the problem?
It's hurt us deeply, and I think it's pushing us. What's happened is that in the acculturation of America, because of socialization, we are picking up more and more of a scientific, more and more of an agnostic, atheistic kind of perspective of life. And the more we do that, the more it disconnects us from the basis of who we really are, where we came from. Now, if African American people understood that I'm here because of slave religion, the black church, and the black community, yeah, I would not be as quick to disconnect from my roots, because there's those roots that feed me, that help me to know who I am. And so that's impacting us. It's hurting us. And more and more, I mean, the other day I just saw this. There's a gentleman that came on. I'm going to get his name so I can talk about it in church. But he came on with an announcement and a commercial for atheism. And he's saying we are fighting for religion-free, I think he said religion-free country. We don't want religion. We don't want any of that stuff. And by the way, I'm not afraid to burn in hell.
Why do you think there is that push, there's that campaign where people want to detach? Why do you think that's
I think it's because it gets rid of all accountability. I don't have to be accountable to anybody. There's no God. There's no and if you don't have God, you don't have any Bible. You don't have any Bible. You don't have any basis for right. You don't have any basis for right. You're back to the judges. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. And that's where we're headed. People are going to do that which is right in their own eye. So now we have fake news. We have alternative truth. Yeah. We have, I mean, nobody knows what's truth anymore. You can't talk about it. But the black community still holds a place where we can use the leverage and the power that we have, the influence that we have to help our people move